Boy, did I make that guy mad. Okay, before we get into it, welcome to the Homestead. So I just got back from the Homesteading Life Conference that was put on by YouTube channel Doug and Stacy, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, and we had a fantastic time. Got to meet a whole bunch of great folks, got to see a whole bunch of great things, great experience. My kids loved it, and hopefully we're going to do it again next time. So, but basically the rundown of the conference was this. I gave a talk on the first day. It was on Sunday, and it was about becoming a producer and how you can become a producer, how you get to your homestead, and some different ways where you can change your lifestyle in that direction of becoming a producer. And then the second day was a talk about how to get started in solar, some of the ways to begin doing that. And I finished my talk. Both talks were basically standing room only, pretty much jam-packed. And there was a guy who came up to me after my solar talk, and he was absolutely livid. He said it took everything in him to not get up and yell at me during my presentation. I'm like, well, I'm glad you behaved yourself. And so he was very upset that I did not mention a lot of the safety things and protocols and the NEC and their safety pack or kits and all of this stuff. And if you don't know what the NEC is, it stands for National Electric Code Book, National Electric Code. And it's put out by the National Fire Prevention Association, I believe, the NAPF. I'm not sure. I'll put it on the screen. Anyway, they're the ones who come up with that. They're a bunch of unelected bureaucrats who have made themselves bureaucrats. They're not a national agency or anything like that. They're basically self-funded, and they set themselves up as the authority of all things fire prevention, and that includes the electrical code in the United States. And many governments, state and local, go by whatever these people say. What these people say usually many times becomes law. Okay? And if you do something outside of what they say, you are doing bad things. It's absolutely bad. You're going to get yourself killed. You're going to get someone else killed, and you're probably going to burn your house down in the process. It's the same thing with anything. Like if you go, listen, I have been in a place where I have talked about raw milk before. I love raw milk. We sourced raw milk long before we ever even left the city and started a homestead. And there have been people who have come up to me, healthcare professionals, who say, Zach, you're going to get sick. You're going to get someone else sick. Your kids are going to get sick. And you might possibly even die by drinking that stuff. You need to stop telling people to drink it. I've had that happen to me. It's the same with all kinds of, I've seen that meme out there that says most things I want to do on my homestead are illegal. It's true. It's not necessarily true in all aspects, but there are a lot of gatekeepers in this world, and they are the gatekeepers of information, and you will not pass. You will not pass. You must use them as the ultimate authority on the things that you want to do if they say you ought to do it. Guys, the internet, I made the point, I think, a while back. I said, you can go to school to get a medical degree. But in this day and age, you can get every single bit of knowledge that they're going to teach that becoming doctor in medical school on the internet today for free. You can. Every single thing, every single bit of information in their textbooks or in their lectures is available somewhere for free on the internet today. It's the same with the electrical code. Listen, you can find, there are things out there in the electrical code that are there to keep you safe. And there are some things there that are to keep you under control. That have really they have no business being there. They're there because some bureaucrat, somebody wanted to put their 2 cents in and it got into the code book. Some things are just absolutely retardedly redundant. And that just is what it is. That's the society we live in today. Yes, this man who approached me, he was very angry. And he probably had my best interest at his core. Okay, he really wanted me to be safe, and he wanted other people to be safe. But that's because of the cognitive dissonance that has been drilled into him, that the NEC and the people who are trained in this sort of work are the gatekeepers of this information, and you shall not pass. Guys, don't be intimidated by this crap. You can do it. You can go out and do the research. Be safe. Understand what you're dealing with. Respect the power of the electric, because it is powerful. And you can do these things yourself. You don't need to go out and find someone who is certified, licensed, bonded, and you have to pay that person. You can do these things yourself. Listen, I say it oftentimes. My best-selling shirt, at Teespring. Stupid should hurt. If we had more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less stupid. Let's be honest with ourselves. There are stupid people out there who will not, do the research, who will not go and do the studying, and they will not study to show themselves approved, and it will hurt. But that's just the world we live in. You can't protect everybody. But don't let that intimidate you. I want to encourage you. I want to support you. You can do these things. If you go out and you hire someone to do your solar system do everything for you, it's going to cost you way more than it will ever cost you. And when something goes wrong in that system, and it will, you may or may not be able to find that person to come and fix it. But if you build it for yourself and understand how things work that you built, when something goes wrong, and it will, you will be able to fix it. You will be the one. You will be your first line of tech support. And that is a huge benefit. I hope I can encourage you to go out and do the things yourself. I want to be my own power company. I want to be my own pharmacy. I want to be my own bank. I want to be my own grocery store. And I don't have to worry about the gatekeepers out there because they have no power. We have the ability to research and do these things on our own to research these things. Do it. Do it. All of that to say, I had a fantastic time. I had so many people come up to me and who were appreciative of the knowledge and the encouragement that I was giving them. And it's just the beginning. You have to go out and do these things. But they were very appreciative of all that. And we had a great time going around in Hannibal, Missouri. We had a fantastic time on the boat. Here's a quick story. So we were on the riverboat in Hannibal, and he goes up on the top deck. And the wind, whoosh, there it goes down the river. And then the boat turned around. And you saw the hat floating by you.
Poor hat.
So yeah, Doug lost his hat on the boat. It was a fun time. It was a great dinner, and got to meet a lot of people. Got to pick up a whole sleeve of 100 lids of canning jars from 4 jars. I've had a lot of people, even in the last couple of months, come up to me because canning season is in full swing right now, and they're saying, Zach, some of my jars are failing, and they're not paying me to give them a plug. They were out there, and if you pick up one of their lids, you can tell and compare it and just hold it next to one of the other ball lids. There is a substantial difference. I can feel it. You can feel it. So I'm giving them a quick plug. 4 jars. I think it's 4jars.shop. I think is you can find them. Anyway, I bought a really cool candle from Missouri Tea Company. One of the full pure beeswax candles. That's Doug and Stacy's shop out there, and they had all kinds of products for sale. Stacy was selling her cookbook and recipes and stuff like that, and there was a great amount of people who came out and did lectures. I learned so much about tinctures and stuff like that. Let's see, what else was there? There was the Mark Twain aspect. So we got there a few days before the conference, and me and my boys walked around and saw the Mark Twain birthplace, his home, the house he was raised in. Samuel Clemens is his name. He changed his pen name to Mark Twain, and saw all the different things when it came to Tom Sawyer. It was absolutely fantastic. My kids got to paint the fence, and they had fun doing that for the picture because Dad wanted a picture, and then. We went into this other amazing place. I saw this earlier, and I said, okay, I'm going to take my kids here, but I'm not going to tell them until we get there. And they're like, Zach, Dad, where are we going? And I said, we're going to go to this shop. I think you're really going to like it. But what is it? Tell us what it is. No, I'm not going to tell you what it is until we get there. They had an absolute blast at a shop called noblewares.com. They had a shop there. It's basically kind of museum, and it's also a shop. And so it's got all kinds of replicas, but these are not just replicas. These are actually quality replicas of the way things were made, high quality standards back in the day. They have the Renaissance period, they have the medieval period, they even have some fantasy things like movie relics and things like that. And some of these things are made like, tempered steel, like the swords and stuff like that. And the firearms that they had there were all non-firing replicas. But, to have a firing replica, you'd have to have an FFL license, and that's kind of a nonsense. But for display things, the firearms were really cool, and they were really high detail. If you get a chance to go to Hannibal, Missouri, I highly, highly recommend going and checking out their shop. They had this amazing Roman suit of armor that was all leather and high quality. It was like, I don't know, $700. And then they had another, it included the shoes, the leather shoes and everything. It was absolutely fantastic. And then there was another one that had multiple other suits of armor. One was like $1,000 because it was high quality, like a normal suit of armor was made back in the day. They had chainmail. They had all these different types of swords. And my kids ended up going back, and they ended up buying a couple. There was a Cold Steel, the Cold Steel brand. Most people are familiar. If you're familiar with knives, you've heard of Cold Steel. They had a number of Cold Steel practice swords that were there, and my kids bought a couple practice swords. I said, the first time you break something with those, I'm taking them away. But so far, they're doing okay. They're behaving themselves with it. They're playing outside. But it was an absolutely fantastic store. If you get to Hannibal, go check out Noble Wares. It's a family business. It's owned by two brothers, and you can usually find the brothers there in the shop. And I would love to go back there and just play around with it. Everything is like, don't touch. Maybe I'll get a chance to go back there and just kind of handle some of those things, but they are really cool. It was probably the best for my kids. I mean, my kids enjoyed the show. They enjoyed the lectures and some of the things we went to at the conference, but the highlight was going to that place. They loved that place. My kids absolutely loved that place. Okay, I think I mentioned everything I wanted to mention. I'll have some other stuff coming out too. I made some contacts with some new vendors and some new possible affiliates we're going to be bringing on, for probably Perfect Pickler and also for some other things. Redmond Salt is probably going to be one of those. And I'm working out some deals with Liberty Daily. The best thing I enjoyed so a couple days before the conference kicked off, I saw this on the Liberty Daily. And if you're not going to the Liberty Daily for your alternative news, you need to be. I go to the Liberty Daily every day, and I'm not giving them a plug because they're paying me to. I am going to be working with Liberty Daily coming up on here soon on some other things. But I saw this, and it was talking about all the crazy goons who are still in Congress who ought not to be. And I remember my favorite quote from Mark Twain, and I actually saw it on a lamppost. So you can walk down Hannibal, Missouri, and you can see they have some of Mark Twain's famous quotes on the lamppost, right? And I saw my favorite of all Mark Twain quotes. It was, suppose you were an idiot, and suppose you were a member of Congress. But I repeat myself. And it's just like the gatekeepers, who are the gatekeepers of information, who say you shall not pass. It's these gatekeepers in Congress who refuse to give up their power and authority because they love their power and authority so much. They don't want to give it up. Just like the gatekeepers don't want to give up their power. They hate the fact that you can go out and figure out how to wire up a solar panel on your own. They want you to go through them and them alone to do that sort of stuff. No, you can do it. I hope I encourage you to do those things on your own. All right, guys. Hey, check out our merchandise, teespring.com. Our best-selling shirt, Stupid Should Hurt, over at Teespring. Our best-selling shirt. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful lot less stupid. And I'll be seeing you guys coming up at the Homesteading Expo, the Ozarks Homesteading Expo in Marshfield, Missouri at the end of the month. We're going to have shirts for sale there. You'll be able to buy them from me there. Yeah, it's actually a little bit cheaper because there's no shipping. And you can buy them there from me. And then we will also have our perfectpickler.com products, some of them at least. I'm still waiting for a new shipment of salt because this stuff is still sold out everywhere. That's why I'm probably maybe making a deal with Redmond's. Both natural salts. I don't know. And the Redmond's package, they fit perfectly too in the packages that we have. But I'm waiting to get more of the stuff because I can't fill orders. It's so retarded. Okay, guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. It's 2023, and the banks are continuing to struggle and fail. The bottom line on why our country is in so much financial trouble is that we have for years not lived within our means. Government spending in Congress is out of control, and government printing of US dollars has reached no limits. For only the second time in history, we have more debt than our GDP. That means we owe more money than our country is actually worth. See, it used to be said that the US dollar was backed by the gross domestic product. But when the debt exceeds that amount, it's no wonder why so many countries are now refusing to trade in that ever-increasingly worthless currency. That's why you need to safeguard your wealth. You've worked and saved your entire life and now it's all at risk. Genesis Gold Group is a faith-based business that will help you move your assets into physical gold and silver. Precious metals have stood the test of time during economic failures all throughout history. Call Genesis Gold Group today and let them develop a strategy for your savings, 401k, or self-directed IRA. A strategy of physical gold and silver. You can call the number on the screen or visit them at genesisgoldgroup.com and be sure to say you heard about them from an American Homestead.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.